So guys, photography isn't free, and wrestling photography is definitely not free. To sponsor the show, links are down below in the spot box to contact me. This week's sponsor is once again DJ Grimm. I'm going to put his track in my video this week as well as last week, and you can check out his contact info below. Welcome to Shout for a Spot. Let's get to it. Here we go. This one is Milo Beasly versus Maxwell Chicago at Vintage. And we're going to start it right now, right at the clap, so I know when to cue the video. That's something that I don't get a lot. So this was a brand new venue for me. I've never been to Vintage, and it was tons of fun. I hope to return soon. And here are two people that were on my top 10 to photograph that I uploaded last week. Maxwell Chicago and Milo. Two awesome gimmicks, and their gimmicks go to prove for awesome photos. So let me start off by saying that this was a tricky venue, just like any other new venue. When I started off with ICW's venue, which was very low ceiling, so my lights bounced everywhere, and gave me a lot of leeway as far as controlling my light. But when it came to this giant hangar, which was at the, I'm going to dub my voice when I remember the name of it, but I don't remember right now. Salvation Army. That's where it was from. And it was massive, and I didn't have any, my lights weren't bouncing off of anything. It was bouncing off of the walls, obviously, but it wasn't bouncing enough to give me a lot of light, so I had to boost my ISO a lot, more than usual, more than the FSCW shows, and the light that bounces off at the FSCW shows isn't a lot. It's a lot of color and a lot of surface that's meant for light not to bounce off to create more atmosphere. But here it wasn't designed for any light fixtures at all. It was just meant to be just a hanger to hold things. So at certain points of the show I had to move my lights around, and later in the shows my lighting gets better and whatnot. And now if I return to that venue, I know where to put my lights next. But for this brand new experience that I had, I just placed my lights where I thought it would work, and it didn't work that way. I had to boost my ISO, I had to lower my shutter speed, and I had to lower my aperture from f8, which I hate doing. I lowered it just a little bit from 8 to 7.1, but I still hate doing that. My fisheye was fine. My Rokinon 8mm, which I have right now, my 3100 by Nikon, was fine. The fisheye is usually good with low light anyway. Not always. I mean, it absorbs more light because the lens is much bigger, so a lot of time. But I mean, the photos didn't come out bad. We also have Trina on the side of the ring here, just managing Maxwell Chicago, and she always does an awesome job managing. So let me get back to the shots, and I realize these two are very comical, not comical, I would like to say their characters, their gimmicks are very colorful. You can do a lot with these two guys, and they always produce awesome matches and awesome photos. Maxwell Chicago have only shot twice before this show here. I think once at FOW and once at ICW. Way back when I only had my D300. I had my D300 since I started shooting in 2008, and I had a terrible flash that I had to charge before taking the picture, and I guess I can get to that. I guess that made me learn the timing of the moves, because I had to anticipate the move before the move happened so I can get the photo. It was a really cheap flash where the sensor wouldn't go off unless the flash was already charged, and to charge the flash I had to press a little button on the flash. So as I saw the move coming, I had to press the little red button and then take the picture when the move came, which was awful. The pictures, they weren't the best timed. A lot of times I miss things, and here I'm taking advantage that Trina is kind of posing on the chair. That's another thing I want to get to after I talk about the flash. So I've improved along the years, and I learned that direct light from a camera isn't the best look that I want to achieve. It works for a lot of photographers, but it's just it's not something that I like. I don't like the harsh shadows or the harsh light. I like dynamic lighting, and that's what I was looking for with my studio lights. So here's I think here comes my favorite, one of my favorite shots of the night right here. I love this shot, and I just kept my camera on Maxwell Contact because I know he's goofy in his mannerisms and whatnot. So what I was gonna say with Trina Michaels on the announcer table is you have to be aware of all the workers. You have to be aware of the managers and the workers inside the ring. Take advantage of whatever they're doing. The managers, I like to keep my camera on them a lot because they usually do a lot of cool stuff around the ring. There's a lot of emotion with the managers. Managers are mostly the emotion of the match, whereas the wrestlers are the action of the match, and I think that's why I like to keep my eye on them. The referee as well. I always like to keep my eye on the referee because the referees get into some cool positions and whatnot. Like Bruce does some awesome stuff when I point the camera at him and stuff like that. I also look at the other cameramen whenever they get into position. Maybe there's a cool shot, they might use it as their default, and boop, more fans on my page. That's also what I think of. I also pay attention to the fans every now and then. Like right now, when the wrestlers are down and out and nothing is gonna happen, except Milo got up. But usually when you know there's not gonna be any action, take your camera off of the ring, look around the audience, and maybe get some emotion from the audience, like a gasp or an amazement look, or kind of like even bored looks when the audience is texting and stuff. Those are cool shots too, because those are emotions. And that's kind of like the job of the photographer, to catch emotions, catch a story that's going on, not just the action shot. And that's what I'm starting to learn now after studying other photographers. Here's where I try to catch a photo of the bear before anything else happened. And I didn't like this shot. I used another shot later with Milo in the background. I'll talk about it later when I get there. But I've shot so many action shots that it's kind of like, okay, now I need to do something new. Now I gotta show more emotion. I gotta show more atmosphere. So I start shooting boots. I start shooting turnbuckles. I start shooting ropes when they get bounced off of, sweat. I start shooting atmosphere. I start covering everything. I try to incorporate all that I can so that I'm not just another action photographer. I'm also telling a story that goes along with these indie shows. And that's another thing that I want to offer to whoever hires me, is just more for their buck, and I feel that's missing a lot. I want to start doing some behind the scenes type of stuff too, lacing up the boots, going over their motions before the match, you know, and this detail that I forgot to get is on Milo's jeans is a bear, and I've been wanting to get that shot of just the bear on his jeans, but I haven't, unfortunately. And I think, did Milo win? Yeah, Milo won because Maxwell was upset. Maxwell won. And I believe I switch over to fisheye for a shot here, and I got it way too late. Milo puts his belt down and he kind of celebrates, and I want to get a nice fisheye of the belt at the bottom of the ring, and then, you know, him celebrating at the top of a vertical shot or whatnot. And unfortunately, I got it too late. I realized what he was doing by the time he finished celebrating, and he was already going down the graph for the belt. But I liked this shot anyway, because it kind of showed. It was kind of like, to a person who doesn't know the story behind the shot, it's like, here's a victor reaching for his belt, and I kind of like it. I liked it, and I kept it, and I think he does it now. I kind of realized at the beginning, there I go, I switched to fisheye, and everything goes weird. What's another thing? At this point, I would stop recording, and I gotta stop the camera. Woo! At this point, I would stop rolling and stop focusing on the match and just kind of relax. I've learned to stop doing that. I learned to keep my camera pointed at whatever's going on, and again, it's to capture more emotion. There's more to the match than just the wrestling. There's before, there's after, and there's before the next match. Here's the shot. There it is. Awesome. That's the shot I was talking about with the bear, with Milo in the background. I kind of liked it. It's in my top 100 shots, I think. And that's the next video I'm doing with the top, whatever, is the top 100 shots I've ever taken. And that's going to take a little longer to do. I know that I haven't been around as long as a lot of photographers, but I feel it's kind of fun to go over my favorite shots and whatnot. And here's another shot that I missed out of Maxwell walking out. The video cuts there, and that's it. Once again, folks, photography isn't free. Wrestling photography isn't free. To sponsor the show, there's going to be some links in the spot box down below. This week's sponsor is DJ Grimm, and his track is going to be playing throughout the whole video. Was playing throughout the whole video, and you can check out his contacts and Spotify, not Spotify, his music down below, and contact him if you need a DJ or some cool tracks. And that's it. That's the end of the video. If you want to check out Milo Beasly's wrestling fan page or whatever, it's down there. Maxwell Chicago's, Trina Michaels, and support Indy wrestling. Okay. Oh, I went a little Canadian there, eh? Support Indy wrestling, guys. And till next time, you've been watching Shot for Spot.